programs awakening in college football. It's happening, and it's being drowned out from all the coaching search noise. But you realize what's happening at Auburn right now? Auburn's a proud program. Auburn's a program that's won a national championship in the last 14 years, yeah, and won SEC championships even more recently than that. I've got some programs, Auburn's one of them, that I think are set to awaken again. These are programs that have once upon a time been something, and I think they may soon be something again. Auburn's got a head coach that's proven he knows how to get it done. Hugh Freeze, I have very little doubt. The guy understands how to build a winner. Has the number 7 recruiting class in the country right now. That's higher than LSU. That's higher than Tennessee. That's higher than Oklahoma. They pushed Georgia and Bama to the fourth quarter, to the brink, had Bama 4th and 31 on the ropes this past year. And had they won either of those games, I think there'd be a whole lot more hype around this program. There should be either way. Like Auburn hired the right guy. I have little to zero doubt about that. I think they've got a solid plan in place as well. Hugh Freeze, probably like anyone else, is a little disenchanted with what the sport is right now, but he has that in common with dozens and dozens of other coaches. He's equipped to win, whether this is the structure, whether 10 years ago was the structure, or 5 years from now, whatever college football is, they'll be okay. They'll win there. You know who else I think's on the right track? Virginia Tech, I think's on the right track. Brent Pry, very quietly, trending upwards there in Blacksburg. I've waited so long to say it. This is a program that has not had a double-digit win season since 2016. Why is that noteworthy, kids? Well, if you're 10 years old, you may think, big deal, Va-Tech never wins. Paper pop time. You know Shane Beamer? Well, his dad coached once upon a time, kiddo, and he rattled off 8 straight double-digit win seasons in Blacksburg. Oh, it's possible. Oh, in the words of James Earl Jones, it represents all that was good, and it could be again. They were 3-8 in his first year. They just wrapped up a 7-6 season. Their rushing offense, his first year, 113th. They finished 23rd in the country this past year. They got a ton of guys returning. I would love to see them recruit better, but in the immediacy, if we're just talking about programs trending back to where they once were, Virginia Tech, man, they've got some juice. There's a subtle underground drum beat right now that we haven't heard out of there in quite a while. You see my fingers here. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I can afford to play favorites over here. Texas A&M. Did you really think I was going to make it through a show without mentioning Texas A&M? Absolutely not. Billy Lucci talks about him every day. David Nuno talks about him every day. Why wouldn't I? Just because they work for an A&M dedicated website and I'm claiming to be a national show. Like, other than that, why? Mike Elko's hire was crucial. Now, it's crucial for several reasons, but I think the most notable among them is secretly, Texas A&M did not have a CEO as a head coach. Jimbo Fisher was pretty sloppy. He wasn't a CEO of anything. That's not a secret around College Station. It's kind of a national secret. Mike Elko is not that guy. Actually, he is that guy, and Jimbo wasn't that guy. And Mike Elko also was there already. He knew the I's that needed to be dotted. He knew the T's that needed to be crossed. He knows the culture. He knows the program, knows how to run one himself. They've got plus infrastructure, plus resources, plus roster potential. In fact, I would argue they're elite in all 3 of those spots, and I don't want to get into the age-old debate on this show of whether this is an elite job or not. It is. I'm right about that, humbly. But I will say Mike Elko, I think, will not get a fraction of the hype of whoever Bama's about to hire, and he didn't get a fraction of the hype of like the Lincoln Riley move to USC. What if he just ends up being better than all of them? I think at the very least the program is trending in the right direction. They're portaling guys in right now. Got the number 2 transfer portal class in the country. That's what Mike Norvell did almost immediately at Florida State to jumpstart things. This will be a recruiting-based program in the near future, but let's just see what they can even accomplish in year 1. Miami's a program that's absolutely trending in the right direction, but some of you don't believe that. And, well, I don't really know what to say to that other than my evidence is they just went from 5-7 to 7-6. They have recruited top 7 classes 2 cycles in a row now, and also a number 7 portal class last cycle. The level and caliber of athlete on campus is massively upgrading even as we speak. That's my evidence. What is your evidence that it's not trending in the right direction? You hate Miami? Other than that, I'm going to need something stronger than that, Bill. What else are you looking at? I think you're looking at a warped view of what we're talking about here. Again, humbly, if you're trying to tell me that Miami's not trending in the right direction as a program, I'm not telling you they're winning the title next year, guys. I'm saying they're trending in the right direction as a program. If you're not on the same page with me, at least when it comes to admitting that, what are we talking about? What is it you would need to see? Well, I would need to see them execute better in big games. I think, I'm not telling you they're in the process of doing it. I'm telling you I think they will do it. This is a futuristic, it's kind of a predictive segment. But to me, having better football players is going to greatly help that effort. Well, Josh Mario's just a recruiter. He's not an X's and O's guy. We can have that debate another day. What I'm telling you is I'm not saying they're going to improve from 10-2 to 12-0. I'm telling you they're 7-6 and could be 9-3 next year or something like that. You're telling me they're not trending in a better direction than 7-6? You don't think that? We just disagree, I guess, if you feel that way. What about Nebraska? Dare I mention Matt Rule's Nebraska Cornhuskers? Yes, I do. Dylan Raiola kind of changed everything here. When they picked him up, got him to decommit from Georgia and commit there to Nebraska, it put him at number 18. That also, according to Stats and Info, means top 20 in recruiting. Defense was good last year because the offense was horrific. No one really paid much attention to the fact that they had a good defense. Nebraska will always play that style of football, but they haven't had a double-digit win season in 11 years. They've been under 500 the last 7 years. And so, pardon me if I don't get a little excited with Matt Rule going out with that kind of track record as a program and still getting Dylan Raiola. I don't care how they did it. I don't care how instrumental family was and NIL was. That's the game today. And by the way, I got a dedicated group text with a bunch of Georgia buddies of mine, and they're quick to point out, well, Nebraska just went and outspent us. Georgia didn't have to do that. No, they don't, because Georgia's selling something different than Nebraska is. Georgia's selling, we're a machine. We'll win with you or without you. It's effective, by the way, because they're right. Nebraska is selling, we've been nothing. Let's look at this trophy case. Tumbleweeds this millennium. Please come and resurrect this brand. No, there's not nearly as much guarantee at Nebraska. That's why you have to spend above and beyond what a Georgia ever would for a player. That's natural. That's always going to be how NIL works. So you say that's the case at Nebraska. They've got that in common with every other program that has failed to win in a long time when they're competing against the premier programs in college football. That's not a slight to me. That just means they're trying really hard.